Hello everyone, today I wanted to share some music unpopular opinions that I have with you. If you guys want to skip right to my opinions, I'll have a timestamp on the screen right here to where you guys can skip to. Also, if you want to skip around during the video, just check down below in my description for that. And now let's get down to a couple of quick disclaimers. Number one, this is just my personal opinion. I'd love to hear yours down below. Just keep it respectful. I'm going to be reading off my phone as I always do. Sorry for any background noise or dust particles that may appear throughout the video. And if I have any notes that I forget to add, check down below. I might have a pinned comment. And let's get into it. So the first section, I want to talk about some songs that just don't really hit for me from some artists that I really enjoy. So first up, we have Woman by Harry Styles. So this is easily his worst song in the entire discography for me. I just never enjoyed the song ever since it was released, and I hear people saying all the time that they enjoy the song. And to those who do, comment down below. I'd be really curious to hear what you like about the song. Just nothing in the song appeals to me at all, and it's the only skip I have from the first album. I really enjoyed all the other songs. I don't think that holds up to the quality of the other songs, in my personal opinion. Swingin' Party is Lorde's worst song for me. Lorde has a knack for releasing quality song after quality song, and even her middle of the road songs like this one are better than a lot of artists' best songs, right? But like I was saying, this song just doesn't really hit for me. Her worst song for me. Every once in a while, I can listen to it when it comes on and I'm like, oh, it was alright. She's just released way better songs than this, in my opinion. And lastly, Doves in the Wind by SZA and Kendrick Lamar is a skip for me. Every other song on the Control album really hits, but this one I've never been able to really get into. And I took a huge break from this one and I came back to it because I was like, maybe it'll grow on me, and it just hasn't grown on me. I heard SZA perform the other song that they did for the Black Panther soundtrack, and I did enjoy that. Don't Smile at Me is better than When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? And it's not even close at this point. The only song that I don't like on Don't Smile at Me is the last one, the And Burn with Vince Staples. I do skip that song. It's just not one for me. But the other songs, hit after hit after hit. Billy and Phineas were just in their bag with that. I don't know what to tell you. The first album just has way too many skips for me. There's just some songs that feel like filler, or they're just not for me personally. I just can't get into like half the songs in there. And I don't even really listen to the first album that much. If I do, I just go back for a few songs. I don't ever really listen to it in full. Versus the EP, I definitely listen to it more in full besides the one song that was mentioned. Doja Cat and Ariana collabs are very disjointed for me. So I feel like one of them always ends up outshining the other. So Doja Cat outshined Ariana Grande and Motive, and Ariana outshined Doja on I Don't Do Drugs. I listened to I Don't Do Drugs recently and it has grown on me. I think that the chorus is just weak and it's not for me. But the rest of the song I did enjoy, and they both have parts that I do like. But as far as them matching each other's energy the whole song, I don't really feel like that happens on anything that they've done together. And maybe as I listen to these songs more, they will grow on me. Having a diverse taste in music and expanding your music taste is so incredibly important. Whenever you force yourself to try new things and just listen around, you discover what you like, what you don't like, what you want to gravitate more towards, what to skip over and everything, and you just really get a taste for everything and the standard that you hold the music to. And I feel like there's just way too much good music out there for you to just stick to one genre. Do I love pop music? Absolutely, and that's the main genre that I tend to listen to. But over the years, I have really forced myself to start discovering other genres and other artists in those, and that just really leads me to another place. And there's so many times where I listen to an artist and I'm like, wow, this is it. It doesn't get better than this. And it gets better than that. And expanding my music taste has done so much for me. And forcing myself to discover new stuff has really opened a lot of doors for me and put me on to some great stuff. And I'm still trying to do that to this day. So that's definitely something I would recommend you guys to do. Janet Jackson and Taylor Swift are good singers. I see people slander them all the time and they're like, oh, they're not good singers and all this. And I'm like, have you guys just not listened to a single album in their entire discography? Because they both have some pretty decent vocal performances all across their albums. And I think that this happens for a few reasons. Sometimes they just don't like their music, which is fine. There's plenty of people whose music I don't like, but I can admit that they have talent. Not everything is going to hit for everybody. I can get that. But to say that they can't sing, that's not true at all. They're both immensely talented women. And in that vein, I remember seeing someone say on TikTok basically that we shouldn't compare singers to a Mariah Carey and to a Whitney Houston because it is just not fair. The talent that is displayed in them is literally once in a lifetime. It is incredibly rare, and most people cannot sing like that. Most people are average singers, and that is okay. And that is definitely something that I wanted to add. But yeah, these women are both insanely talented, and I don't get the slander for it at all. People have different textures they like to use in their voice, or different ways that they like to sing. I think the world would be a very boring place if everyone just sang everything the same way. People like to experiment with their voice and see what they can do. People have different styles, and I like what they do on their songs. In the vein of Taylor Swift, Dress is easily the worst song on Reputation. Reputation has grown with me, but this song has just always been one that I do not like at all. And I see people say they like this song, and I'm like, really? This is the song that you're gonna go for out of the whole album? There's way better songs than this one, and it's not personally for me. Endgame by Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, and Future is not a bad song at all. I can see why people wouldn't like it, but I enjoy it. I think that they all added something unique to the song, and the production is fantastic, and I like it. Reputation is bottom 3 in Taylor Swift's discography. This one is one that I feel like I really had to force myself to kind of like it, because I watched the Reputation Stadium tour. I listened to it so many times, and with that, I finally started to kind of like enjoy the songs, and I could get what people are saying with it. But when you have to work that hard to like an album, I feel like it has to be one of the worst albums in the artist's discography and everything. I just think that it's not near the caliber for other stuff that she's released, especially when you release this right after 1989, which is one of my personal favorite pop albums of all time. Just does not live up to that. I think in general, people just overhype this album a lot. I hear people say all the time that this is her best pop album, and it's certainly not when 1989 and Lover exists. It's really not. And especially top 3 in her discography, that's doing a little bit too much for me. Whenever we have Folklore, Evermore, Speak Now, 1989, Red, and we also have Lover. Those are all better albums than Reputation for me. And I don't think that Reputation is a bad album. Like I said, it has grown on me, but is it an album that I listen to front to back all the time? No, I don't. It's really rare that I listen to this thing front to back. I can enjoy it, but it's just not up to the caliber for other stuff. Another point on Reputation is I don't like whenever people say that she should not have released this album, or it wasn't necessary for her to put out. With the situation that was going on at the time with Kanye and everything, there was no way that she could have just simply avoided this and just put out a regular album like nothing happened, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, her life completely changed, the public opinion shifted on her. Like, she had to adjust it, she had to get her narrative out there. So to say that she should have just released a normal album, that makes no sense and everything. She had to address this, and she did it her own way and everything. Another thing that brings down this album for me is the way that she chose to market it, because with the singles that she put out before the album release, she set the tone as it's going to be about Kanye and the drama and all of that stuff. And yes, there's a few songs touching on that subject, but that's not what the entire album is about. The underlying theme of this album is finding love throughout the chaos and overcoming the odds and getting through the difficult times and stuff. But because of the way that she promoted it and everything, people misconstrued it as, oh, it's just about Kanye, which is not true. It just is a few songs off of the whole album, and it's not a part of the entire narrative. And the track listing also sucks too, because I could understand if like all the songs about that situation were at the top, and then towards the end we would go Delicate and like all those other songs about her finding love and like all of that stuff. But she doesn't do that, because why do we have Delicate at track 5 and then Look What You Made Me Do is right after that? That makes no sense. It's just like constantly switching back and forth, and it doesn't make any sense for me in terms of that. And then This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things is towards the end, and it's like we should not have sequenced a track listing like that. If we would have sequenced it the way that I was talking about earlier, I could definitely see the public and myself liking this album more. And like I said, with the marketing, it's just so many reasons that this album is bottom 3 and Taylor's discography. Her other albums are just better in every single aspect for me. But I can appreciate what she was trying to do with this album, and what this album has done for people, and how it can make me feel whenever I do listen to it. But I didn't even listen to Reputation whenever it came out. I listened to it last year, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But now we're on to the next one. I used to like Ed Sheeran's music, but now that I've expanded my music taste, I see how bland his work is. And I think that he is talented, like I was saying going on the other point. He is a great guitar player, he can sing, but now that I've reached out and listened to a bunch of other stuff, hearing his stuff again, I'm just like, this is boring, it's bland, it doesn't do anything for me. Like I said, he did what he had to do on Endgame, but his solo stuff, I can't listen to it anymore. I'm like, this does nothing for me. And then everything has changed. Taylor version is going to come out, and it's going to be Kravis for me. I'm just not going to really care about that song. And yeah, I really doubt that it'll grow on me. I just don't really care for his work. You don't have to like every single song that your favorite artist puts out. every artist that I love, there is at least a few songs that I just don't care for. Not every song is going to work for everybody. Some songs are going to hit harder than others. Some songs you can listen to it after you took a break from it and you're like, wow, I was really unappreciating this one. You know, there's hidden gems in every artist's discography, right? But there's going to be some songs that, in your opinion, aren't good. And that is what it is. Don't force yourself to like a song that you think sucks. Just be like, oh, this isn't a song that I like, and move on. Don't force yourself to like stuff. Charts don't really matter anymore, and it's kind of sad to see, because whenever you have the number one song, it actually meant something. It meant that people were listening to it. It meant that people knew it, that they were singing along with it. It literally doesn't matter now, because you can have a number one song and it's not even the top 10 on Spotify, which makes no sense. If the fans of a certain artist are motivated enough, they can put your song at number one, because the charts just aren't the same as it used to be. Cinderella is a top 10 song in Britney Spears' discography. It is perfect in every sense. Her vocals, the production, and the lyrics, just the way that everything comes together, it is easily one of my favorite Britney Spears songs of all time. I just really, really love that song. And they all did what they had to do, plain and simple. All right, and speaking of Britney Spears, Pretty Girls by Britney and Iggy Azalea is kind of catchy to me. I remember whenever this song was released and everybody was hating on it. They're like, oh, this song is so bad, it's terrible, blah, blah, blah. But this song was always kind of a bop to me. Like, I always enjoyed it. Is it one of the best songs in her discography? No, it's not even close. But it's just a cute song. I never took it too seriously. Britney is known for giving us great pop hits, and I feel like this song is no exception. Like, I do enjoy it. Iggy's part is good. I like the bridge. Like, it's just a cute little song. I enjoy it. In that same vein, I feel a similar way about Focus by Ariana Grande. I saw people saying recently that this was Problem Part 2, and they're not wrong with that. And I can see why people wouldn't like this song, and I think that the man singing in the chorus isn't good. But besides that, it's a good song. I can enjoy it, and every once in a while I do listen to it, and it's fun. Like that little breakdown that they have at that one part. I'm really glad that she decided not to go in this direction and she chose to do the Dangerous Woman thing, because I think that that's way better than this would have been. Kitty Cat is easily one of the best songs that Beyonce has ever released, and the reason for that is because it has everything that we know Beyonce for. The backing track is amazing, stunning vocals, it's catchy, the bridge is amazing, it's well written, and it has that underlying narrative of empowerment that she has throughout all of her songs, which I appreciate. And I just love it so much, and I feel like it does not get the appreciation that it deserves in the context of her discography. I think it deserves so much more appreciation. I adore it. Easily one of my favorite Beyonce songs. I can't listen to a song if I think that the artist cannot sing. It does not matter how good the lyrics are. If you cannot sing, if I don't like the tone that you use, if I don't like whatever you try to experiment with your voice, then that's going to be it for me, because the voice is one of the most important things of the song. And if you're not a good singer, I can't finish the song. I'm just going to have to click off and listen to something else. I'm going to have to cleanse myself, because it's not going to be giving for me. And in that same vein, I hate cheap instrumentals on a song. If it sounds like it cost $10 to make this, or it took you less than 5 minutes, then I'm not going to enjoy it. I hate whenever everything on the song is perfect, but I hate the instrumental on it, because it really ruins the whole song. Because again, one of the most important parts of the song right there. Now to some Mariah unpopular opinions. So We Belong Together, the Mimi's late night version that she releases here, is better than the one that's on the Emancipation of Mimi. Ever since she's put out this new version, it's been a staple for me. Like, I had to make a playlist with the album and I had to put this version on, because this is just always a version that I find myself wanting to listen to. The instrumentation is better. She made it even more challenging vocally, which I like. There's a 7-minute version, which is the one that I always go to. I just like it way more than the one that she released in 2005. And I do like that version, and she broke a lot of records, and she did what she had to do with that song, and I do respect that, and I do like it. But compared to this new version, she really topped herself with it, and I just can't really listen to the old version the same anymore. Bye Bye is a better song than One Sweet Day. It hits way more sonically for me, and I would much rather listen to it than One Sweet Day. Rainbow is not one of Mariah's worst albums. I see people slander Rainbow all the time, and I have stated this opinion a few times, but I just want to say again, because it's always the Rainbow slander. But how are you going to say Rainbow is one of Mariah's worst albums, and then you're going to say that E = MC Squared is top 5? Because that's not making sense. That's not making sense. One of them is clearly stronger than the other. Rainbow is easily a better album than that one, and better than a lot of her albums. Easily top 5 in her discography for me. There's some albums that I think that whenever people say like, oh, Rainbow is better than like Butterfly, or it's better than Daydream, I'm like, whoa, like it's not better than those albums. I love Rainbow. I am a Rainbow apologist, as I said many times. But for me, it's not better than those. But I'm sorry, Rainbow's top 5. And there's just no escaping that. And I just had to say that again, because people love to slander Rainbow. And no, like, the album has hits. It is a cohesive album. Petals is one of her best written songs. And yeah, I've made an entire video on the Rainbow album, so if you want to check that out, then I'll have that down below in the description. The Beat album by Maroon 5 is good. I like it. I remember being introduced to this in 8th grade, and I've enjoyed it ever since. Are there some songs that don't hit for me the same as others? Absolutely. But I do enjoy it. I think that it's a good pop album. A lot of people love to say, oh, the second that Maroon 5 went pop, the music wasn't good anymore, and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not true. They have some really good pop songs. Sugar, are you kidding me? I love that song, and they have a bunch of other ones that I really enjoy as well, and I do like the album. I think that they haven't been making good music for like the past 4 years. I will agree with you on that, but I'm sorry, the album is good. I don't listen to it front to back a whole lot, but I like it. I think it's a good album. And now we're on to the last one. It annoys me whenever I say that I am a huge fan of an artist and then someone tries to tell me basic things about them that I already know. And I understand that they mean well and everything, but whenever I say I'm a huge fan of somebody, that holds some weight. That means that I know their discography really well and I know most of the lyrics of their songs really well. If you play a song for me of theirs, I can probably guess it in the first 1 to 2 seconds. I know the years that their albums came out, the order, what it meant for them, their personal life. Like, I know it pretty well. Do I know everything about my favorite artist? No, I don't think it's necessary to know absolutely everything about your favorite artist. But if I say I'm a huge fan of somebody, I just happen to know a lot about them. Because whenever I love an artist's music or whatever, I will do a bunch of research just because I want to know everything. And I love really obscure facts that most people might not know. I'm like, okay, then that's kind of cool. Even though I already know that, I can understand why you think I might not have known that, right? But if you tell me like a really, really basic thing about someone's career that I already know, I'm just like, it kind of irritates me. And I think that people do this because like, especially my mom's generation and back, like my family, a lot of them are guilty of this. They'll say that they are a huge fan of someone's music and they don't even know their entire discography. They couldn't even name 5 songs by the artist. And I think that that's just ridiculous. There's so many people who I like their music, but I'm never going to claim myself as being a huge fan of them, because to be a huge fan, you at least have to know the discography really well. I think that's like the bare minimum, is to know the music, to know the deep cuts and like all of that stuff. So I think that's like part of why. And yeah, like I said, I think that they like might mean well, but I think it's kind of irritating or whatever. And I think sometimes it's kind of like condescension and like, oh, I know more about them than you do, I'm a bigger fan. And I don't want it to be like that at all, but like I said, I think to consider yourself a big fan, you should at least know their discography. That is all I'm saying on that. Did you guys agree with my opinions? Did you disagree? Let me know down below in the comments. Let me know your unpopular opinions as well. If you did enjoy this video, please just shoot it a like. Also, the subscribe and rant down below. If you have the bell next to that, you get a notification to your phone every single time I post a video, so you not miss when a new video comes out. And down below in the description, the first link, I'm going to have my second channel. So I just made a new video on there recently, and I was just talking about like the creative process behind my videos and why I do things a certain way. I also talked about me playing trumpet again and what that has been like and a bunch of other stuff. So if you'd like to see more of me, check me out on the second channel. And I am planning on revamping that and making more videos, so check me out on there. I also do have a Twitter and Instagram as well, and I have my Spotify if you'd like to follow me on those. And lastly, I have information to educate you guys on some important situations. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.